Oh, hello everybody. Welcome to Lincoln Park. We got Tuesday, November the 25th, 2025. 1 month from Christmas. We got kind of a foggy morning here. It's a little damp and drizzly and rainy and foggy and overcast. You can't even see the John Hancock, so I'm going to head straight down Clark Street. We'll try to make up some time. It's only 6:54. I'm getting a later start than usual, but it's a holiday shortened week. I expect a lot of people are traveling. Hey, ex-RT fan there, how you doing there? GM Nap, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in here. We'll head down Clark Street. Yeah, sad news we'll report about. Well, there's Jimmy Cliff passed away, who of course is a reggae icon. Jimmy Cliff. That happened 2 days ago, and then yesterday we learned of Jobo from Eddie and Jobo. Sad to report, if you lived in Chicago in the 90s or before then, you probably heard of Eddie and Jobo. If you're newer to Chicago like me, I moved to Chicago in the late 90s. I more know Eddie and Jobo from the insurance commercials, but they were on B96, the radio station in Chicago. They were, for years, they were a morning duo there, Eddie and Jobo passed away. I guess he was 70. He didn't look 70. He always, to me, looked like he was 30 or 40 in the commercials. He aged really well, but maybe it was the Hollywood makeup, who knows. But yeah, it's sad to report the news here. Anybody remember Jobo there? Lambie T, how you doing there? Krista, T-Lime, Tea Time, Grandma's Corner there. Rochelle, how you doing there? Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Yeah, the Sorry Cafe here. There we go. They're setting up. Here's the Freebie Moving and Storage. Look, they got some new artwork on the side. Clark Street. We're on Clark Street, south of Fullerton. We got about 48 degrees, maybe 47, 49. I don't know. It's upper 40s. A little damp, not too bad. Yeah, what's shaking there, everybody? So, yeah, good morning, Tony, D-Lime, Julie, how you doing there? Yeah, they were great. Yeah, they colored their hair. That's why. They were old in the 90s. That's a good statement there, Chris. Yeah, they that shows you, you know. Look, you see all the gray in my beard. You know, I'm 49. I'm almost 50, and you know, I'm like, you know, am I really gonna stand there in the shower and dye my beard and let the dye run? You know, it's like, what's the point? I guess we all do it. We all mask our age. We do it. You know, I do it with my stupid long hair. I'm not fooling anybody. My Chris could tell you my receding hairline. I'm looking like a monk with a big long mullet here is what's happening. We all try to defy age and act like we're 20 years old forever. I know I'm the same way. But here, we'll head to work here. Clark and Belden here. Clark and Belden, Chicago, Illinois. How's everybody doing? Here's Belden Street. Beautiful street. Probably what I'll do, I pretty much resolved that I'm gonna work from home tomorrow since it's Wednesday. There won't be probably anybody in the office anyway. Most people will be traveling for Thanksgiving. I'm not traveling. I might have lucked out and picked the right Thanksgiving not to go back to visit my father and my aunts and stuff. Even though I want to see them, we're gonna go do the December trip probably to Texas. But Ernie was telling me there's supposed to be a chance for a major snowfall event on Saturdays. Anybody is that on the radar? He was talking about maybe 8 inches. It's too early to tell. We'll be on the wintry mix line. It'd be like 30s, but it is supposed to, temperature's supposed to drop by Thanksgiving Thursday. We're still going to try to cover the parade. It's going to be early. Ernie's going to be there early. I'm going to be there early. I think there's a turkey foxtrot. There's a run. And how you doing? There's a run I don't know if it's a half marathon, 5K, whatever it is. There's a, just kind of like the Shamrock Shuffle they do in there on Thanksgiving. Hey, you are beautiful. They had this ruler here. Was that always there? I don't think so. You got the Dad's Park, you got the steps. This is across from the Grant Place. This is across from Francis Parker School here, Clark Street. This is where Sedgwick breaks off the nice street here. I would have walked down Cleveland or Sedgwick this morning. It's just, it's already almost 7 o'clock. It's 6:59 in the a.m., so I'm just going to head straight down Clark Street, try to make the quickest, shortest distance between me and my office here. Yeah, Alias, how you doing there? Let's see. Yeah, Ernie likes the snow. Yeah, he's the opposite of Jay City Walking Girl. Jay City Walking Girl, she doesn't like the snow, which I understand. You got to get out in it. I like the snow because I don't have a car, so we get out and play with it and film it, and people watch your channel. It's nice. We have the last, this is my 27th, this will be my 27th winter in Chicago, and last 3 winters we haven't gotten much snow, and I would get my hopes up. I'm like, oh, I get to film a snowstorm, and it would just be rain. So I'm not getting my hopes up. We'll see what happens on Saturday. We already had one snow event, but it seems like a flash in the pan here. Here's we're Webster, Clark Street here. Just joined. We're in Chicago. This is my commute to work here, Chicago, Illinois, United States, planet Earth. We're heading south on Clark Street, south of Webster. The neighborhood's called Lincoln Park. Temperature is about 47 degrees. It's kind of damp. Must have gotten some rain overnight. There's a park here. This south of this building is the historical site of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. If you take the Untouchable tours, they will stop here. They will show you the same site I'm about to show you here. They built this housing here in 1968, so there used to be a bunch of buildings here that they tore down, or empty lots, by 1968. There was historical housing here, and this was a major trolley line for Chicago up Clark Street. Bugs Moran in the late 1920s lived in a hotel right there. There was a hotel that faced Lincoln Park West. A lot of this housing was here. The Webster House was here. This building was under construction. There was a warehouse here, and if you watch Some Like It Hot, the movie with Marilyn Monroe and Jack Lemmon, they kind of try to recreate the scene, kind of apocryphally for that movie. There was a gasoline station in the warehouse. It probably was originally a livery stable that they converted to a garage maintenance facility for the mechanic that sometimes worked from Bugs Moran's gang, would soup up their cars with the Super 8. He was the most tragic figure because he wasn't really supposed to be lined up against the wall and shot there. They were trying to get Bugs Moran, but they got 6 members of associates plus the mechanic. There you see that ridge line there. That was the ridge line of the warehouse that used to exist here. The other wall was over here. They recreated the wall in the Mob Museum in Las Vegas. You can go there and see the bullet holes in the brick. I don't think this ghost sign was there when it happened, but this was later, an alley. Over 70 rounds, Tommy guns. The most disturbing thing, as we always talk about, is 2 of the assailants were dressed as Chicago police officers, and it's still an unsolved murder mystery. But Bugs Moran escaped. Al Capone had a convenient alibi. He was in his Miami Beach estate at the time, and they had to eventually get him on tax evasion with Elliot Ness. Watch the Untouchable movies, but that all happens after the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. He consolidated his power. Bugs Moran never really recovered, even though he survived, and his power was diminished. Al Capone's was increased, and became the notorious, the undisputed leader of the Chicago's prohibition crime underworld there. Here's the, which was pretty out in the open in those days. This apartment building is the, where Larry and Balky and Perfect Strangers had an apartment. And, they used a different building the first 2 seasons in LA, but the later seasons they used this building right here. Get the Angry Octopus, Dickie C's Pizza. We're right here at Dickens and Clark Street. Yeah, let's cross. So here we'll head down the fog. It's so foggy you can't even see the skyline. That's amazing. You can't even hardly see the 2020 building, and we're right next to it here. Clark and Dickens here. Hey, thanks, super Ahit Gongi. How you doing there? I hope I'm saying your name right. Thanks for tuning in from India there. Call me Fat Jesus there. Pat Scully, how you doing there? Finland, yeah. So we got people from Pakistan, we got people from Finland. Thanks for tuning in. So if you just joined, we're in Chicago. This is Chicago, Illinois, United States of America, planet Earth. We were just talking about the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, which happened in Chicago in 1929, February the 14th. We're heading south on Clark Street, neighborhoods Lincoln Park. We got 7:05 local time in the AM. It's Tuesday morning, the week before Thanksgiving in America. Canada already had their Thanksgiving in October. Here's this sculpture. We got the crazy faces here. I like it. All the mouths in the noses. All the different expressions there. There. Shenzhen artwork. Right here on Clark Street. Yeah, Germany's tuning in there. Pixie Sticks, how you doing there? San Francisco. Yeah, we got the San Francisco fog. You're right. Yeah, we got the London fog, the San Francisco fog. Yeah, we get this in wintertime. We get a lot of foggy, dreary, overcast days, gray days, where the sun really doesn't even burn through the clouds. But here we'll head across here. Head across Clark Street, where this turns into Lincoln Park West. But hey, we checked out the Lincoln Park Zoo lights last night. We saw Jose, we saw Ernesto, and thanks everybody that tuned in, including this Jim and I on the stream there. I think Ernesto, hopefully some people watched Ernesto's. He kept on streaming after I left there. It was good to have so much good coverage of the Lincoln Park Zoo lights. We'll post you some reruns there. I'm still working on the clips. We're still posting reruns from the parade on Saturday. We're getting backed up in content. What happens this time of year? So much going on. But yeah, we're mourning the loss of not only Jimmy Cliff there, but we are also mourning the loss of Jobo from Eddie and Jobo, the radio duo there on 96 or B96, the radio station. And yeah, I remember them from the commercials, the insurance commercials. Call or click today, Jobo. Yeah, local. Only people in Chicago probably know who Jobo is, but that's good. Neil Diamond musical, Beautiful Noise. I bet they sing Sweet Caroline. They're coming to America today. No, we can't sing that song anymore. Not in the current administration, right? We in the 1980s. Remember, it was like, you know, the Cold War, fighting the evil empire there. Yeah, we welcome defectors from other countries. No, not anymore. Really send them back. It's not funny, I know. Here's the we're full, America's full. Here's the apartment building here, Park Grocer, which we know isn't true. It's just the wealthier America comes, the wealth concentrated at the top, not enough to distribute it to the rest of us, and so people get very protectionist. And I think it's because there's so much money trapped at the top. If you could circulate that around, it's enough money to go around. But then people accuse me of being a socialist. But I just want to be a redistributionist there. It helps invigorate economy so people at the bottom can be creative. And there isn't barriers to entry where you have to be a billionaire to get funded, you know, build a nuclear power plant. The battle between Google and Nvidia for chips. Trillions and trillions of dollars at stake. Here's the vast gold rush for AI that's going to turn out to be a big flop. Big belly flop there, but it doesn't matter. You got to dance while the music's still playing there. Yeah, buy the stocks there. Here's your chance. Everybody's missing out there. Buy the dip in Bitcoin. Yeah, here's your chance. I'm joking. So here, just joined. We're in Clark Street here, Lincoln Park, Chicago. It's a foggy start to our morning here. But we got the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Everybody getting your turkey plans ready here. Traveling, anybody traveling? Yeah. Chemical pesticides. Yeah. We get pesticides forever. We got Monsanto owns all the seeds. And that's why that nice woman we talked to at the No Kings protest, she was like, why doesn't Monsanto pay a price for hiring illegal, undocumented migrants to work? And government seems to be okay with that. We don't see ICE surrounding the Monsanto and the Tyson Foods chicken plant. We don't see, I guess we did see them surround that South Korean Hyundai plant there. That was kind of interesting. When all the South Koreans that they offended by how they treated them with ICE, they said, who wants to stay in America? And only one guy took them up. The rest said, no, we're going back to South Korea. We had enough of America. And I don't blame them. South Korea is a pretty nice place as well. There, we'll head by the Hidden Truths here. And South Korea has its own problems, as we were allies. But I still want to be allies with South Korea, especially when the Cold War is still not officially over there. The 42nd parallel or whatever it is, 47th parallel. There, look at the farm in the zoo. This is the farm in the zoo by the South Pond. We're heading through Lincoln Park. Yeah, thanks Grandma's Corner. Thanks for welcoming everybody to my morning walk there. Yeah, we should travel back to the 70s. Yeah, let's go back. We need a Wayback Machine before all this stuff went south. When the stock market was more reasonable, wasn't in the nosebleeds here. Back to a world before there was a thing, trillionaire stock packages for Elon Musk. How could he relate to the common man? It's just too much money and power for one person. Rocky and Bullwinkle, yeah. Eddie and Jobo, Miss Jobo there. He will be missed here. So here, let's dash across the Stockton here where there's nobody coming. I wonder if they're doing street cleaners. Yeah, there must be, because there's no cars parked here. Oh. Moose and squirrel. Hey, well, yeah, we'll head right by the South Pond just really quickly here. Let's see how foggy it looks here. Yeah, Doge. Yeah, what happened to Doge? They go in there and break things, move fast and break things, and then everything's broken. They're like, what do we do now? And then they said, everybody come back, even though we fired you. We got our news headline. That's what we wanted. And yeah, the government deficit still goes up. Everybody cries about the deficit. And then now we got a new administration. No one cares about the deficit. The same people that were worried about it before, they don't care. They're like, put it on the credit card. It solves all the problems. Both parties do it. You notice I'm being critical of both parties here. Some people are still going to be critical of me, even though I'm critical of both the left and the right here. Here's most America's in the center. And because the corporate dominates their politics, they get more say than we do. I'm sure that's how the founding fathers intended, right? We wanted a nation of yeoman farmers with the virtue of the countryside. What about the South that it has enslaved people? Oh, don't look at that. We got all the virtue in the country, yeah. I'm joking. I'm talking about the historical injustices. We were watching the Ken Burns Revolutionary War. Hey, there's a squirrel nest. There's a squirrel nest in the trees here. Yeah, we'll head through Lincoln Park here, Chicago, Illinois. People walking the dog here. This is the easy part of the fall. We're all cruising. We're like, oh, it's not bad. Every day it's 40 and 50s. And yeah, if the whole winter could be like this. And then Saturday we're going to get, or Thursday the temperature's going to drop. We'll be in the 20s or teens. We'll be trying to cover Thanksgiving parade in those conditions. And then Saturday we might get some snow, so just wait. We'll get our taste of early December winter maybe this weekend. We'll see what happens. Hey, we lost that tree. There was a big tree right there. Every time we lose a tree, I lose. It was like a big tree like that, like that. There's somebody camping out right there. This is Lincoln Park, Chicago, Illinois. Nah, Silent Hill. No, this is Illinois. This is Chicago, United States of America. You're probably an fellow American that wants to taunt us. You don't think Chicago is part of America. I understand. We don't feel like part of America, especially under this administration. We feel like Venezuela. We're like surrounded by our own troops. We've been bad. We deserve to be punished. We're bad, Chicago. We need a spanking. They need to show us liberals who's boss. You're gonna make us cry, and then you all laugh. You love it. Here's the sirens. But hey, midterms are coming. We're less than a year away from the midterms. We're less than a month away. We're exactly a month away from Christmas. We got November the 25th, 2025. We got 7:15 in the a.m. I'm going to do my part. I'm going to buy zero. I'm going to buy zero stuff on Black Friday. I'm going to buy zero stuff on Cyber Monday, especially Cyber Monday. Screw Cyber Monday. You know, it was bad enough we had Black Friday where all these big box brick and mortar retailers tried to get us to line up to buy crappy TVs and whatever deal they got, to people fighting over buying stuff. It's stupid. And same with Cyber Monday. You're supposed to sit there at work tied to the internet like you're on BZit, or, you know, trying to get the auction with the free extra swag there. Make Jeff Bezos. Screw Jeff Bezos. I know he just did a big deal. Amazon did some big deal with the government. See, it shows you the merger of government with big business. It's even worse now because the government has a stake with the success, and they're too big to fail, just like the banks. But hey, I guess we should just enjoy it. Buy stocks with abandon, buy crypto with abandon. The stock market will never go down. You're safe. Invest in what the billionaires and trillionaires own, and you'll be safe in your retirement. They really got your best interest at heart. They really care about you. There was an article about Meta where they did their own research says that it does harm not only the children but like humans in general. And they're like, just like the cigarette companies in the 50s and 60s, they're like, let's bury this report. And it was their own funded research, and they're like, yeah, this would be bad PR if this get out. And it did get out, and it's even worse because they tried to, you know, bury the report. The government's like, hey, there's nothing to see there. We'll give them more government contracts. Mayor will walk through here. We'll walk under the South Street here. How you doing? So we'll walk straight through here. Yeah, that's good advice there. How you doing? Good morning. How you doing? Good morning. Yeah, I feel like Bruce Springsteen. I was born in the USA. I want to watch that new movie. I guess they made a Jeremy Allen White movie with Bruce Springsteen. Has anybody seen it? I saw like a promo for it. I'm waiting for it to come out so I can just... I don't watch many movies in the theaters. Who still goes to the theaters? And I guess the new Wicked movie broke a bunch of records. I guess somebody's going out to the movies to see movies like that. That's good. Chattanooga painted an exterior apartment complex. That's great. No, I'm heading to work. That's where I'm at here. 7:18. I'll probably either take off tomorrow or have work from home like half a day or something. I'm heading into the office today so we can stream the Michigan Avenue lights tonight, just like we did last night. I'll probably cut over on Oak Street so we can see them at night. If I usually stream at lunch from noon to 1. Maybe I'll get to the Kris Kringle right at noon to see if we can get in, because if you wait to 12:30, there's already a line both directions. But a lot of people are traveling today and tomorrow for Thanksgiving. I'm staying in Chicago, so that's why I'm heading to the office. I'm not traveling this week, which I'm thankful, especially if that snowstorm hits on Saturday. But I don't know how bad it is. We'll see how it goes. I just learned about it last night. But hey, we saw Jose and we saw Ernesto at the Lincoln Park Zoo Lights. We're in Chicago, Illinois here. We're heading to work here. There's a history museum. We always walk through here. We got 7:20. I'll take my I'm getting warm enough. I'm taking my gloves off. Almost 50 degrees. Very balmy morning here. It's kind of damp. Yeah, Mia's tuning in there. Judy, satellite. So there was the Abraham Lincoln statue here. There's a few people. You notice there's more people camped in the park. I noticed there was somebody sleeping under the bridge by the Bell and Stratford there in the park. And there were more people. I saw at least 5-6 tents this morning. People sleeping outside, even heading into winter here in Chicago. But here's the Gold Coast here. We'll head past the housing here. Here's the Constellation. There's Schwartz, the architect. The Schwartz. Here's the Latin School. Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen, Mr. Spock there. I hope it doesn't get crazy like that. It's possible. I know a lot of people are worried about inflation. I'm worried about inflation. The two things people bring up the most, which is understandable in this city, is the crime. The crime in Chicago, but also the cost of living in this city. And it's not only Manhattan, New York, California cities, all cities, even Texas cities are experiencing major, property tax increases. I heard that in Austin. People that moved there that got a better deal on the house than California, then all of a sudden all these people from California moved to Austin, and then Austin raised the property taxes to be more like California's property tax. Isn't that amazing? You can't escape it. And there's all these Chicago gatekeepers that are worried that a lot of people are going to leave New York City. There's some people that like Mondami, which I'm excited about his candidacy, but there's other people that are scared about his candidacy. They might leave the city and move to other cities or warmer climates, which probably is what will happen. They'll probably just put more pressure on Florida real estate and Texas real estate, and even California real estate. But we're in Chicago. We're on Dearborn Street. The best gatekeeper Chicago has is that cold Chicago winter. Even more of a deterrent to people moving here than the crime. But I think if we had nice weather, people would tolerate the crime. Because we tolerate it now, even with the cold weather, even though we shouldn't. Here's Dearborn Street. Dearborn Street. Look at the beautiful curved staircases here. We walked by here all. Look how nice the trees look with the fall colors here. We're still late November, and we got the beautiful fall colors here. The curved staircases. Hey, how you doing there, Fred? How you doing? Nice to see you.
Just great.
Yeah,
I
good.
see you busy doing your thing.
Yeah.
That's great for you.
Good.
I love to see you when I see you.
Good. Well, thanks for saying hello, Fred. I appreciate it. And you ready for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, but I'm playing it by ear.
Yeah.
Most of my family has passed away, and my children are grown and out of state and different stuff like that. So I'll be just playing it by ear.
Good.
But I have people that has invited me.
Good.
Over if I choose to go.
Yeah. Well, you got options.
I sort of choose to be quiet and stay at home.
That's what I'm going to do.
I've had a lot of Thanksgivings in my life.
Yeah.
And had a lot of fun in my Thanksgiving, and had a lot of family members at one time.
Yeah.
So it's all in past now. Yeah. And I'm sort of settled with being quiet and alone.
Good,
and I enjoy that.
Good.
I enjoy that
enjoy it.
nowadays.
Good, yeah.
Nowadays, I'm more settled.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Hey, they're talking about there might be snow on Saturday. Have you heard anything, or I don't know?
I even heard. I thought it'd be as soon as tomorrow.
Even tomorrow. I saw there's flurries in the forecast.
Tomorrow. But I'm thinking it won't be very much.
Won't be very much. That's what I'm hoping to.
Very much. But it's early.
I know it's early.
I think this global warming, which people, some people deny it being so, and some people believe it's so. I'm one that believes it's so.
Because we noticed it in Chicago, the winters have been more mild. You probably remember the old winters at like 79 and
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know.
And I see the greenery is confused.
I know. Look at this. Yeah, we still got we're
confused.
at the end of November, almost December, and we still got leaves on the trees. Which,
So,
if it snows, you know.
Right, and that makes it even harder when it's snow on top of leaves, far as removing it.
Oh yeah, all this. Look at all this. Yeah.
And so the snow is heavy in itself. With wet leaves, it even makes it heavy.
Yeah.
So, and one of my jobs is to shovel snow.
I know that. That's why. I think of you like when we got that snow back the Monday before. I was,
that
you
was,
know.
that was 11/10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember the date?
Yeah, I remember the date. That was our first snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was decent.
Yeah.
It was decent. You had to break out the shovel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really decent.
Look at these cute dogs here. How you doing? Good morning. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I enjoy seeing you.
No, I'm glad you said hello.
Yeah, I enjoy seeing you do your thing. And then in conversing with you is always a pleasure, too.
Well, good. Well, hopefully, I hope to run into you again as we go through the winter.
Oh, well, we surely will. We surely will. I'm not going nowhere.
Well, me either.
I don't care who like it and who don't like
I know. That's good.
it.
Well, happy Thanksgiving, Fred.
All right, and the same to you and all your followers.
Good, thank you. They're all saying hello here. Look,
and
see,
all your followers.
They everybody likes you here. Yeah,
well,
you know,
great.
they're so kind. Good morning, Fred. There.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I appreciate you guys.
Good.
It's a pleasure and being associated with you.
Good, me too. We're all part of this city. We share the city.
And I salute you.
Thank you. Thanks, Fred.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Have a good day.
And you as well.
Go talk to you later. Here it is, the beautiful building here, the Houghton. We show all these historical buildings here.
And that's where I work at.
I know, yeah. You do such a great job. This is so well, you know,
well,
maintained.
Give me the business.
I know. They're pretty, but they're frustrating. It's always. Well, I see you, Fred. Have a good day. That's great. Say, hey, we saw Fred. Isn't that great? See, truly, friends and neighbors. I do feel like Mr. Rogers' neighborhood here, just walking through, and I've known Fred for years because I've been walking through this street, and he's always there at the Houghton there, and yeah, that's why he's a good person to ask about the snow coming up here, and he manages. He's the building engineer for the Houghton there. And that's a nice apartment building here, the Gold Coast of Chicago, Dearborn and Burton here. And hey, thanks to everybody there. Yeah, Perth, Western Australia there. Thanks, love, like it. Beautiful said, beautifully said. Yeah, the properties are gorgeous. Fred's awesome. Yeah, I'm very privileged and proud to know him. And he's a great people in this. Everybody in this neighborhood knows him too. You see how the woman walking the dog, she waved to him when people going in and out of the building. They're like, Fred. Everybody loves Fred, and so he's gonna have a good Thanksgiving as well. So great timing there. And yeah, the beautiful housing here, Dearborn Street, Gold Coast, Chicago. True friends and neighbors. As big, as bad, as mean as Chicago is, I want to show the softer side. Not to diminish that, yeah, there's a hard edge to the city, but there's just regular people like me and Fred that just get up and go to work, and like you. And I didn't have the heart to ask him about Jobo there, Eddie and Jobo. I don't know if you listen to B96, the local radio duo there. Jobo passed away, I guess 70 years old there. I remember him from the commercials. The insurance commercials, but they were radio personalities there. And Jimmy Cliff there from the reggae. How you doing there, Squirrel? What do you say? Getting ready for the day here, St. Christodom's. There it is. Greater love has no man to lay down his life for his friends. That's what it said there. Isn't it amazing? See, I'm quoting scripture for you. There's the nice row houses here, Dearborn Street, Gold Coast, Chicago. Yeah, what's shaking everybody? Yeah, that's why people contrast the north side with the south side with the west side. You know, there's nice areas on the south side and the west side. Do I have to say this? There's bad areas on the north side. But yeah, the wealth is concentrated in the north, but the real wealth is in the northern suburbs. if you think the north side of Chicago is wealthy, go to the north suburbs. There's even more wealth up there outside of the city. And I'm like, that's why, you know, Fred and I still live in the city. You know, and pay high taxes. That's why I go to as many free city events as I possibly can to get some of that tax money back, and we share the wealth here by streaming. That's why we went to the free Lincoln Park Zoo last night, which is not free. The rest of the nights you got to pay for the Lincoln Park Zoo lights, but we went on the one free night, and that worked out good. We're heading to work here, 7:30 on the dot. Hey, it was great talking to Fred. Yeah, we'll cut that out. A lot of people are like, how's Fred been doing? We haven't seen him much since late in the summer, I don't think. Yeah, beautiful place there, Lucy. How you doing there, D. Michael? The real wealth is everybody's heart. There you go. It's like the end of a wonderful life. He said a man's true wealth is measured by how many friends he has, you know. And I feel very wealthy here thanks to you guys and other people. And that's what it's about. Human connection. You could be the richest person in the world and not have any friends. What you know, you could swim in your money, hoard it from everybody else. Sharing is the best reward. If you could share that money, Warren Buffett realizes it, Bill Gates realizes it, and you can't take it with you when you go. And yeah, you can get in the record books for being the richest person in the world, but doesn't mean you enjoyed it as much as you possibly could. You know, I'm sure it helps. It beats the opposite, but here's the beautiful housing. There's the keyhole windows of the residential housing here on Dearborn Street, Gold Coast, Chicago. So unfortunately I get to walk down the street. Unfortunately I get to talk to good people like Fred. There's also people that make up this whole neighborhood, and not just this neighborhood, all 77 neighborhoods of Chicago. I just happen to be walking through this very wealthy one on my way to work because it's near downtown. Everything's all the housing is expensive near the downtown. Even the South Loop and the West Loop are very expensive. Streeterville, River, Lakeshore East, they're all expensive. And even it's starting to affect Chinatown and Bronzeville. The northern end is downtown, keeps creeping further south along the 78th there. You know, they're going to build a new soccer stadium in the South Loop. That's going forward. They're building a new casino in River West, you know, with a hotel. Here we're on Goethe and Dearborn Street here, the Three Arts Club here, RH Furniture. We got the cafe in there. 1200 block of Dearborn Street, Chicago, Illinois. Hey, the Third Coast. So welcome to the Third Coast, Chicago, the Great Lakes. Still got the fall display out here. Wilbur. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, Star Killer Beast. Well, hang tight. The public sentiment's starting to shift slightly. I know we're not out of the situation we're in right now, but sentiment's starting to shift a little bit since these midterms, and there's more pushback in Congress. It's interesting. One of the senators, I think one of the senators, sent a letter to the Trump administration investment because they noticed almost a month ago there was the big meeting in China by around Halloween, and supposedly there was some big deal with TikTok. Well, senators noticed there's not a deal with TikTok. They never resolved it. They just hoped no one would notice. And they're like, what's the deal with TikTok? Please tell us the details of any deal or non-deal. But I'm sure the Trump administration has 2 weeks to work with the senator. But my expectation is they're not going to give him any information. And there is no deal. So we really don't know. Nothing's changed with TikTok. And they'll just renew another 2-month extension or 3-month extension that they've been doing. And it shows you Congress can't even enforce their own laws. So how are we going to expect, if we can't respect this law of TikTok, you know, being shut down, and why if Congress can't enforce that law, why could they enforce any laws? Like, why, can we just pick and choose which laws we choose to enforce and not? Isn't that amazing? It seems to be where we're at. I'm not a lawyer here, Not a constitutional lawyer. Here, Gotham Bagels pickup here. This is this used to be PJ Clark's, but now it's Eduardo's with Gotham Bagels there. We're on Dearborn Street, Chicago, Illinois, Dearborn and Division. Maybe tonight we'll stop by Butch McGuire's, the bar, because they got such great ceiling decorations, and they got a train that goes around the bar. And we missed it last night because I took a bike. I rode a bike up to the Lincoln Park Zoo lights. So if you missed the Lincoln Park Zoo lights there, you can check out the live tab on my YouTube, and you can watch the full rerun. I split the live into two last night. The first portion is its own live. We walked up Michigan Avenue. I separated that from the Lincoln Park Zoo lights, which there's a reason for that, because the Lincoln Park Zoo had a bunch of music it plays with the lights, and it's all copyrighted, and I knew I wouldn't be able to monetize the zoo light or the Michigan Avenue lights. So that's why I separated them. There's the Christmas in your mouth. You get this drink. This is at Butch McGuire's. But look at all the stuff they got on the ceiling. We'll check this out hopefully tonight. If we don't get it tonight, we'll get it sometime soon. We'll show you all the holiday decorations here at Butch McGuire's. We missed them for Halloween. They usually do a lot of good decorations for Halloween. But see, they got a miniature train set that goes around the bar there. And so here we'll head up to State Street and go by Shenanigans here. Shenanigans got some decorations too on the stage. They have some karaoke and stuff. We'll head across the street here. Pop Smith, the Lodge. We'll head down State Street. Get your pizza by the slice. Hey, 3 hours from Chicago there, Star Killer Beach there, 420. How you doing there? Kelly Quinn. Yeah, it's hard what's happening there in the Mideast. I know there's some outline of a truce. We hope it holds. We'll see what happens with the Russian-Ukraine peace negotiations. I know Rubio's flying all around. Marco Rubio, I don't know what's going on. I'll figure it out once I get to work there. I don't really report on any of this news because it changes so quickly, and anytime I talk about politics, it goes off the rails here. But thanks, mods. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We got 7:37 in the AM, Chicago, Illinois. We're on State Street, just south of Division. We got about 47 degrees. It's kind of foggy, overcast, rainy, and well, it's not really raining. Thankfully, you don't even need an umbrella. It's just damp. And yeah, Fred says that snow might hit Friday even, and it's gonna get cold Thursday. We're already Tuesday. We got Tuesday, November the 25th. So yeah, we'll head down this Elm Street. This is State, where it breaks off from Rush breaks off from State here. Yeah, I see the top of the buildings there, the top of the John Hancocks, obscured by clouds there. Yeah, I like Chicago. I've been here for going on 27 years. You know, positive, negatives, everything. I haven't really made much money here, but I've had a lot of good times. Lived here over half my life. Grew up in the country, but I'm a fool for the city here. And there's always something going on, a lot of free cultural events. It's a flat city, easy to walk around, easy to bike in. I know we got a lot of negatives, high crime, high taxes, high cost of living, but not as high as New York and not as high as California cities, probably because we have worse weather. Or worse crime, maybe, I don't know. Crime's about comparable though, it's really about the same. It's really no worse, not enough to really notice the New York City. It just makes more headlines. Our crime's more idiotic. It just doesn't make any sense. You know, teenagers shooting each other in front of the Chicago theater. What does it prove? What does it solve? No one knows. You know, it just come out and play. You know, it's got to keep them separated. You know, I don't know. But here's all the beer trucks delivering here, getting ready for the Thursday Christmas rush here. We'll head over into Mariana Park here. Here's the cars. Yeah, Mariana Park here, they're selling ornaments. I'm still waiting for Carmine's to open. This Wintrust Bank's opening on the corner there, that's new. Hey, Mariana Plaza, Jane Byrne Park. They call this the Viagra Triangle. There's Dublin's over there. Getting the Budweiser, Bellevue, On Cloud. That's Federer's store. Yeah, Whispers is selling ornaments. Control. Yeah, Brandon Johnson this is only his first term, right? Did he win re-election yet? I think he's up for re-election soon. I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting. What I'm trying to figure out what to make of this as well, because I'm a city planner. So here, look at this. Not only has Chicago elected a untested, with little experience mayor from an industry completely unrelated to governing. He wasn't an alderman, he wasn't a state senator, or never ran for major political office like this, besides the head of the teachers union. You know, I guess the teachers union is the biggest organization. Mayor Johnson ran before city of Chicago. And look at New York City with Mondami. You know, despite his interesting ideals, which interest me, again, a young, untested, with little political experience, mayor of the largest American city, the most important American city in the United States. We have these mayors that come from out of nowhere, and right away they're already meeting with the president on the national stage. Because if you're mayor of New York City, you have internationally, you're probably as well known, probably better known than any senator, you know, and from a whole state. And I don't know what it pretends for the health of American cities, but Brandon Johnson doesn't bother me as much as other people. I commend him, you know, trying something different, but he faces major resistance, and I know he'll be limited in what he can implement, which has already happened. And he makes mistakes and says statements which, you know, people expect me to defend, which I don't defend the statements of any politician, especially the current president of the United States. I don't defend his statements either. He makes a lot of stupid statements as well and falls asleep at his desk, but he's old. You know, I know Biden was old, but so is Trump. They're really old. You know, they're just, it's got to be really, you know, he still plays golf though. So he must not be that bad off. Here's Walton and Rush Street, Chicago, Illinois. How you doing there? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we got about 47 degrees. We'll head past the Dior, the Versace. We went past Oak Street. We'll head down Rush Street. We'll go past the Tesla and the Rivian dealership, the Aritzia. You can't even see the Trump Tower. Trump Tower's in fog. So if you want to see what Chicago would look like without the Trump Tower, today's your day. You can't even see I bet you can see the name. That's why they put the name on the bottom, because if it was at the top, you'd be lost in the fog. Well, here, Aritzia got the tropical plants. Get your super puff air. Hey, we got Tuesday, November the 25th here, 2025 here. We're heading down the street. Social Studies of Cities. There you go, Elderberry. Thanks for the good info there, Elderberry Social Club there. So he's got some degrees. He's got some educational background. Hopefully that helps. But countries like cities are bigger than one person. The United States is much bigger than Donald Trump. Chicago is much bigger than Brandon Johnson. Chicago's made up of people. The United States is made up of people. One person doesn't define a whole country, no matter how popular, unpopular, or powerful they seem. And administrations change. America will still exist in some form long after current president's gone, long after the former president's gone, you know. Major things. Same with city of Chicago. We'll survive. Mayor Brandon Johnson. There'll be another mayor after that, and it might be worse. Might be better. Who knows? World's a scary place. I don't know what to tell you, but here's Rush Street. All I know is I'm heading to work here on a Tuesday. We got 7:44. We got about 47 degrees, and I don't have a car. How can I be an American? I can't afford a car in America. I walk past the Tesla dealership. I can't afford a Tesla. I walk past the Rivian. I can't afford a Rivian. I walk past the Lamborghini Gold Coast. Of course, I can't afford any of those cars. Can't even afford to rent any of those cars. I guess I could pay for the Lamborghini tour that costs $220. Somebody else driving, I'd get a photo op, get a like on social media for $220. Here we'll head across Chestnut, Joey Chestnut Way. Look at the top of the John Hancock. See how it goes up into the clouds? You can't even see the top of it. There, Mike Dicka Way. We checked it out there, Rush and Chestnut. Mike Dicka had a restaurant right over there. He still has one in Oakbrook in the suburbs. Go by the Quigley Center here, the old seminary. The weather's not bad. It's just damp. It's like 47 degrees. It's above freezing. I am wearing a coat, but like this woman, I almost feel like taking off the coat. I'm like, got a sweat. So I took off my gloves, and it's not too bad here. We'll head past the Lamborghini Gold Coast and the Joe Perillo. Yeah, hopefully there's a Polish sausage way. There should be in Chicago. I know we go down to Maxwell Street. We go to Jim's Original there on the side of Maxwell Street, Union Street, next to the highway. Is that where the Polish way is? I don't know. There's a Polish museum, a Polish-American museum on Milwaukee there. The old Polish downtown used to be at Division, Milwaukee, and Ashland. But there was Polish areas on the south and west sides as well. Lithuanian areas in Bridgeport, Polish areas in Lawndale. Pat Sajak grew up in Lawndale. Can you believe that? From the old Wheel of Fortune host there. Nice Polish name, Sajak. Or Eastern European at least, like Cermak. There's you got Pilsens was Czech, Lithuanian, Polish, Eastern European. We got a bunch of that in Chicago. But hey, thanks for tuning in here. We're on, is this Pearson? We already passed Chestnut. Yeah, this must be Pearson. We passed Delaware, Chestnut, and then it's Pearson. I always get those streets confused. But here we're by the water tower. They got the Christmas tree lit. We saw it last night. Yeah, it's still on here, so let's check out the holiday lights here for the water tower. Water tower place is over here. We checked out they got Christmas trees up for the John Hancock, 875 North Michigan. They survived the 1871 Great Chicago Fire, the water tower. They got the Christmas tree up where they got the fountain in the summertime here. Hey, look at the nice Christmas tree here. We'll get it with here's the old horse drinking fountain. When there used to be carriages here you could catch and pay for the carriage rides, but they're all gone. There it is. There's your Christmas tree, Chicago, Illinois, November the 25th, 2025. We're a month away from Christmas. A month away from Christmas. There you can see the top of the John Hancock. From this side we could see the top. The other side it was in the fog. Look at this nice Christmas tree here. It's like a more traditional style. Yeah, let's head to work here. Got 748. Gino's East, yeah, Gino's East is nice. Yeah, Giordano's is good. Yeah, I like Gino's East. Gino's East is a little bit more authentic than Giordano's maybe. And yeah, Gino's East you can write on the walls. Giordano's are everywhere. I like Pequod's, but then you got to go to Webster and Clybourne there, Lincoln Park, get the caramelized crust. Yeah, let's head across the street here. for Chicago and Michigan Avenue here. And we'll head down to foggy Michigan Avenue, Allerton, Tip-Top Ave. It's a little slick on the, you got on the paint on the street. My shoes are slipping on the paint has like oil on it from the road, from the cars, and it's slippery in this rain, or this dampness. Yeah, it snowed, we were talking about with Fred. We got our first snow at the beginning of November. I think November the 11th. I think that's what Fred said. Don't quote me on that. It was beginning of November. We got about 3 inches here in the city. South side might have got more. Northwest Indiana got about a foot, and Lake County, some areas got 6 inches to a foot. But it didn't last long. It melted because it was so early in the season. The ground wasn't frozen. Hey, if you want some traffic lights, I remember in college, some of my college friends would say somebody hit the traffic light in the middle of the street there, so there must have been an accident or some police chase or something. There's traffic lights laying on the side of the road right here. Some of my friends from college, they got some of these, and they actually put electricity to them, and they actually were still working. They would cycle through the lights, and they had them in their living room. They were from Cleveland. They were real working traffic lights that they somehow got in their possession. I don't want to ask how. Yeah, usually Christmas starts as soon as Halloween's over. They put up the Christmas stuff, because in America, Christmas is really about shopping. Christmas is all about shopping. That's why they call it Black Friday. That's most of the companies don't make their profit until Christmas shopping. And so much of our economy is relied on people buying stuff, things for people that they don't need, and they usually return anyway. But hey, it's fun to do. It's fun to shop. Americans like to shop. There's the Pace bus. We'll head down Michigan Avenue here. If New York City has the same style bus, it's because Chicago contracted out with J.C. Decaux. J.C. Decaux is a French company. The same time that Chicago was selling off its parking meters and closing down Meigs Field under the second Daley administration, they sold off our bus stations to D.C. Decaux. D.C. Decaux says, we'll manage your bus stations and keep them all clean and maintained if you just let us sell advertising on the bus station. So J.C. Decaux makes their revenue from selling advertising on the bus stops, and that's why you see the digital scenes here in Michigan Avenue. They make money off of that, and they maintain it. You'll see the J.C. Decaux van there maintaining the bus stop. I don't know if New York City has contracted with the same J.C. Decaux. If they have, I need to go back there. I used to go to New York a lot. I haven't been there much since the pandemic. I need to go back, and then I'll be able to tell you. I should just watch Marty Mayoral, because he's always riding the bus there. Here's the Harry Potter. Here's the Zara. We're at Huron in Michigan, the Allerton Tip-Top Tab. Today's Chicago woman there. Hey, there was a magazine. Yeah, we're mourning the loss of Jobo, from Eddie and Jobo. If you used to listen to the radio announcers there, or the morning talk show host there, Eddie and Jobo on B96. Jobo passed away. He was 70 years old, so we're talking about that. Jimmy Cliff passed away, the reggae, great reggae musician there, contemporary of Bob Marley. And yeah, Jobo passed away there. Kelly Quinn, thanks for letting us know there. Nia's tuning in there. Yeah, Blues Brothers, that's the lower levels of Michigan. Yeah, we walked through the lower levels of Michigan, Wacker. That's where they had the big police chase for the Blues Brothers. I'm glad you remember that, because a lot of times I got reruns on it. You know, you send me a message, I'll send you reruns down the lower levels. I mentioned that. I'm like, this is where they filmed the Blues Brothers, and often so many times people are like, what's the Blues Brothers? They have no idea, never seen that movie. You know, it happened way before they were born, and haven't seen the reruns, or live in different countries and don't know the Blues Brothers. But we know the Blues Brothers in Chicago. The Blues Brothers. There's the sirens here. We'll get across the street. Comes an ambulance. Dun, dun. We'll sing the General Hospital theme song. Like sands in the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. Guiding Light, General Hospital. What else? What were some of the other soap operas? There, Michigan Avenue, 754. Yeah, we'll give it another try at lunch. I'll try to get there earlier. We'll try to get into Kris Kringle, and if we can't, we'll just go back and film the ice skating. It's gonna be an easy, lazy Tuesday. I'll probably work from home tomorrow as we ease into the holiday shortened week, Thanksgiving week here on Thursday. We'll get up early on Thursday. Thursday, there's the turkey trot. They're gonna have some run. I don't know if it starts downtown. I'll find out more information about it. They probably will start early as well. And then they're gonna have a parade on State Street in front of Macy's there in Chicago. Of course, the big parade's in New York, the one you'll probably see on your TV, but they have one in Chicago, and you'll see it on Brian Really Chicago here on YouTube. Ernesto Chicago Nuggies will be streaming it on TikTok if you prefer TikTok, and I'm sure there'll be other Chicago live streamers covering it as well. But here we're heading into Thanksgiving. They're putting up the holiday lights. We'll film the holiday lights on Michigan Avenue later tonight. So yeah, we got 7:56 in the AM, Chicago, Illinois. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, thanks to the mods there. Thanks, James. Yeah, the buses. Yeah, D. Michael from the Mojave Desert of Finland's tuning in there. Pat Schooley, how you doing there? Thanks for tuning in. That's awesome. Yeah, we got the fog. Look at the holiday decorations here. We're going by Sephora here. There, TGA Fridays. There, wait for the left turns here. They're putting a new store in here. Hubert told me what it was. I need to remember that. Here's the Michigan Avenue. Yeah, look at they got that all set up there. We'll check that out at night. It should look nice tonight after it starts. Here, we got the light here. We'll head across Ohio Street, Michigan and Ohio, Chicago, Illinois. The fog's thick in Joliet. Yeah, it's thick down here by the lake too. See, the bus is honking at me. Just get out of the way. Yeah, we were filming this goat last night. I felt bad because, you know, I ran across the street and I was waiting for the light and I went to film it, and there was a father with his daughter there, and she turned around because I was filming. I was like, "Oh, I'm not filming your daughter. I'm trying to film this goat." One way he goes, "Yeah, right." Or no, he was like, "No, I didn't think that." I was like, "Thanks," because I'm so self-conscious. You know, everywhere I turn the camera when it's really crowded, somebody's like, "Why are you filming me?" I'm like, "I'm trying to film, like, avoid where there's no people, but there's people everywhere I turn. There's always people in the background of the shot." It was like that at the zoo last night. By the end of it, I was like, I got to get out of here. I'm just going to see people here. Here's Michigan Avenue. There's Nordstrom's. Yeah, we still got to check out the Nordstrom Mall, see if they got it decorated for the holidays. But yeah, Fred and I were talking about it. It's amazing. There's still leaves on the trees all the way up until almost December. And Fred and I noticed the winters are getting milder. Now, we'll probably eat those words on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday when we're back in the winter and it's snowing. It looks like a blizzard. We're trying to film a Thanksgiving parade and it's cold. But here's the Intercontinental Hotel. It's not too bad today though, 47 degrees. We'll take it. I think it'll just be like 50 degrees all day. Yeah, Wes, Brian. Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago. Yeah, thanks for knowing your movies there. That's from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. They go into the restaurant and they're messing with the maitre d'. They did a prank call and they said, "Hey, we're Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago." So they had to announce it, waiting for a table. Hey, we saw that Thanksgiving turkey boat. That was what that Jewel Osco advertisement was about. I got my bag of turkey ready to go. Everybody got your turkey dinner plan there, going through the river, over the river and through the woods. Grandmother's house we go. Yeah, we got 47 degrees and foggy, so we got a foggy start to our Tuesday here. We're mourning the loss of Jobo there from Eddie and Jobo, local radio celebrities from B96 there. There's Nathaniel Hale. I regret I have but one country to give from my, or one life to give for my country. One country to give for my life. What would Nathaniel Hale say about January 6th? That would be interesting. Hey, they got the, look, they got the wreath here. And Along Sonne, they got this, it's from Germany. They got these German watches. They'll put out the watches here. They're getting ready to open this just in time for the Christmas holiday season here. We got right where the WGN used to have their radio booth there. As we talk more into Moss and Jobo. But I'm sure their radio station, I wonder if was B96, was that in the Merchandise Mart? Merchandise Mart used to have a lot of radio stations. Here we saw them putting this up, so they we might check this out at lunchtime if it's open. I don't know if it's open yet. They just set this up yesterday. There was a stage and everything for the parade. There's the Christmas tree for the Wrigley building. We checked that out last night. Here, they got santasecret.com. So this is on Pioneer Plaza here by the Tribune. See, there's the Tribune. And they call this Santa's Secret. Let's see if they're going in there. I think they're still setting it up. They're just going to the Apple store. But here's the Christmas tree on Pioneer Plaza. I don't know. See, this is not open yet. They got a crane parked there. I think they're just gonna have some pop-up shops for Christmas stuff here. So we'll check that out if it's open later today or this weekend. There's the Christmas tree in front of the Apple store here. I got to get to work here. We got 801. There's the Wrigley building. Yeah, Christy and Kelly there. Yeah, I don't have kids in school. I think I have to ask my sister. My sister teaches in Texas. I don't know if they're off this week. I heard some people that I work with, they were mentioning that their kids were off of school, but it depends on what school they go to. I'm working today. I might work from home tomorrow. And here we'll head by the Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable statue here, Joliet Marquette and Native Americans. There's the Wrigley building here. We'll head across the Chicago River. Head to work here. You're off in Texas? Good. Thanks, Ivor. Thanks for the good info there. Hey, I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy your week off there. Have a good Thanksgiving week and yeah, cook some good food and spend some time with family. Candy cane lane. Man, Dolores is tuning in. Today's the kids' last day until Monday. So today's the last day for school for some people. I think that's good. Thanks for the good info there, Shauna. So, hey, last day, then you can have tomorrow off and Thursday and Friday. Enjoy the Thanksgiving holiday. Hope you have a good one too. There's we'll film the parade there on Thursday. There's the Wrigley building. Yeah, very nice. DuSable High School. You attended DuSable High School. Hey, that's great. Very nice. Yeah, DuSable High School. See, we went by the Jean-Baptiste Point DuSable statue. We got to DuSable High School. Jean-Baptiste Point DuSable, the first non-indigenous resident of Chicago. Goes back to the French colonial culture. His wife was Potawatomi. We got a high school, we got a museum, a history museum named after him. We got a Lakeshore Drive, and we got this bridge, DuSable, Michigan Avenue Bridge there. Finally, he's getting his due here. There's the Wrigley building, the Tribune Tower, Chicago River. So we'll try to check out the Kris Kringle at lunch. I'll try to get there right at noon. It gets packed. The line, I'm hoping either today or tomorrow, because people are traveling, it'll be less crowded, but we'll see. You never know. Sometimes it's more crowded. These people are in town and they want to see it. You know, the zoo lights are usually really crowded Thanksgiving weekend. That's why we saw it last night, the free night. The traffic, usually there's a traffic jam the Friday after the Black Friday. So many people try to go to the Lincoln Park Zoo lights that night. It shuts down Lakeshore Drive. You can't, it backs up onto the highway. People trying to get off and get into the parking lot for the Lincoln Park Zoo lights. Hey, Fannie Mae premium chocolatier since 1920 right here in Chicago, Illinois. Get your Jelly Belly This is right at Wacker in Michigan. And Crumple, the 333 North Michigan building. They got the Blackhawk store above here. Yeah, get your Blackhawk sweater here. Best uniform in HL history. Well, probably one of the oldest too. Goes back 100 years in some form. There's the Mather Tower. Yeah, it's very foggy. Very foggy. It would be hard to see the skyline today. But here at Michigan Avenue, at least we're seeing the Rigby building. But yeah, I'm gonna head to work here. Appreciate it. Yeah, so if you missed it earlier, Jimmy Cliff there, we're mourning the loss of him, and we're mourning the loss of Jobo from Eddie and Jobo, the radio duo there at B96. I remember Jobo from the insurance commercials. He'd always say, call or click today. Jobo. And nothing lasts. He was 70 years old, so he will be missed. Is there anything else I missed here? You know, mods, give me a message if there's anything else going on. Hopefully everybody, people are having sickness and stuff. Hopefully get over Ernie. Ernie was feeling better. It was nice to see him. We saw him and Jose. We saw Jose at the Zoo Lights. It was nice. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Raul Duke there. Yeah, Raul Duke there. We'll do Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I would love to do a Fear and Loathing trip there. We'll do it the right way. Like true gonzo journalists, we'll do it with YouTube instead of yellow journalism, Rolling Stone. But yeah, Mia, Christy, Rake, Trame, thanks for tuning in there. Yeah, we're waiting for the light there. We'll show you the flags. Yeah, Mimi, thanks for tuning in there. Aisha, Leah Rose, Flower, and D. Michael, the Windy City. Thanks everybody there. Grim Evil, thanks for being on there. Yeah, Amanda Joliet. Yeah, they're cleaning out the sewer there. We're waiting for the left turns here. Shenandoah Way, South Water Street, Chicago, Illinois. Hey, 47 degrees. We'll head to work. 8:07. We'll see. I don't think there's anything happening in the Michigan Plaza. Yeah, I guess I kind of signed off abruptly yesterday. But I was like right here. I think I had to use the restroom or something. I was like, okay, bye. I didn't do all my usual goodbyes, but we'll do all our byes here. Kat, how you doing there? Bay, Shats, Dolores, Grandma's Corner. Thanks for being on. One Golden Nubian. Appreciate it. Thanks everybody for checking out the live stream there. The LMA Carter, I missed you there before. Yeah, love from Ireland there. Bridget, how you doing there? So hey, we got the lights here, so we'll sign off. Have a good rest of your day here from Chicago. Thanks, mods. And we'll see you at lunchtime. We'll see if we can get to Chris Kringle and we'll do the ice skating. Okay, talk to you later. Thanks a lot. Yeah, Kelly Quinn, Scott G. We'll see everybody. Grim Evil D. Michael.